Third Person Effect by Alex Kalantarian, Brian Fagan, Aaron Shahide, and Gary Gregorian. Before diving deep into understanding what this theory is and how it affects others, it is important to understand some information beforehand. W. Phillips Davison was the man responsible for introducing the third person effect. He was a communications scholar who proposed this idea in the 1983 Public Opinion Quarterly article, The Third Person Effect in Communication, which led to it having an everlasting impact to set the framework for understanding how people perceive the influences of media on themselves and others. W. Phillips Davison identified and studied the third person effect in 1983. This theory suggested that individuals tend to perceive that others are more influenced by media messages than they themselves are. Davison explored the idea that individuals tend to believe that media messages have a greater impact on others than on themselves due to personal biases and underestimating the effect of the media message on themselves. In the context of the third-person effect theory applied to gaming, the belief that violent video games have a more significant impact on other players, particularly younger and more impressionable individuals, than on oneself can lead to false perspectives. Individuals may believe that their ability to distinguish between fiction and reality allows them to play violent video games without adverse effects on their behavior. In conclusion, it is important for individuals to recognize the third-person effect and be aware of their tendency of believing that media impacts others more than themselves. This awareness promotes critical media consumption, emphasizing the importance on what information content one should consume in their day-to-day life and how it affects perception and reality. Ultimately, the third-person effect should encourage people to understand media literacy and be more informed on understanding how media influences individuals and society. Why do you think this phenomenon of third-person effect exists? What is it about human nature that makes individuals feel this way about how others are influenced by mass media? Is there any mass media messaging that you feel you may be vulnerable to or immune to? If so, why? Are there any examples from your life that either support or contradict this theory? Media and culture, mass communication in a digital age. An introduction to the concept of third-person effect contains several examples with a general overview of material. Useful information regarding third-person effect's real-world applications and the ways in which it can be seen and studied in today's society. Center for the Study of Communication and Culture, Volume 24, 2005. Additional research on the theory of third-person effect, highlighting examples and the basis for the theory, as well as studying the theory's impact in analyzing mass communication and targeted media. W. Phillips Davison, The Third-Person Effect in Communication, The Public Opinion Quarterly, Volume 47, Number 1, Spring, 1983, pages 1 through 15. The original essay, detailing Davison's thoughts and findings, explains the impetus for the research and the study of propaganda. It describes his original interest in Japanese World War II propaganda and explains his research findings on the third-person effect. Johansson, Bengt, 2005, The Third-Person Effect, Nordicom Review, 26-10-1515, Nor 2017-0248. Discusses potential positive effects of third-person effect, analyzes different forms of mass media, and supports the theory, concluding that people tend to believe that their own ideas of politics are dependent on personal experience and that others' political attitudes are more dependent on mass media. Describes the foundations and reasoning behind third-person effect and explains the concept in real-world examples and ideas.